Good morning, how are you? So today is Saturday and it is September 23rd, and I'm continuing to answer your daily questions. Most of them are coming from readers of this book. You are the universe, discovering your cosmic self and why it matters. The book was co-written with a physicist and cosmologist, Menas Kapatos, who's also a climate change expert. So thank you for supporting this book, and thank you for reading it, and thank you for sending me your questions. Your questions should be sent to info@jayo.com, info at jayo.com, JIYO, info@jayo.com. Once again, please send me your questions at info@jayo.com. Also, try and download the app, Jayo. The app is available on iTunes. It can be used on the iPhone, Android, and it's the Internet of Well-Being, co-founded by me and my partner, business partner, Punacha Machaya. The Jayo is the Internet of Well-Being. You can also go online and check out jayo.com, JIYO.com, and please continue to send me your questions, info@jayo.com. So today's question is from Sravant Reddy. He says, I'm glad to introduce myself. I have a question for you. When a predator kills their prey, one dies, the other survives. This proves that life is insecure by nature itself, so there is a flaw in creation. No miracle or law can prevent it. Moreover, it is against nature. Hoping for a reply. So there are many questions raised here. The first is that the entire ecosystem of nature, Dana, it's JIYO, not GIYO. The app is Jayo, JIYO. So basically, Sravant is saying that since the ecosystem is based on a predator-prey relationship, then is cruelty and violence inherent in nature. So we now have to delve deep into this. So let's look at it from pure Darwinian evolution and its principles and what is called today the post-Darwinian worldview. And this is based on an idea that totally excludes consciousness as part of the evolutionary process. So Darwinian evolution, which most of the scientific world holds to be true, is based on random mutations and natural selection. Random mutations means genes mutate randomly. Mutation means that their sequence changes or something happens in the gene itself, so it's no longer the same gene. And this is happening randomly, okay? Of course, now we also know that there are many environmental factors that influence mutations, especially those mutations that lead to disease. But evolution is based on random mutations, and then the genes that are most adaptable to survival survive the genes, and they naturally select themselves, and therefore they dominate. So random mutation and natural selection results in the evolution of species. And this is how we human beings have evolved from very primitive life forms up the ladder of evolution, from reptiles to mammals to primates and ultimately to human beings. Now, of course, at the risk of being criticized and vilified by evolutionary biologists, which I have experienced a lot from the scientific community anyway, but I persist in my views, which are based on wisdom traditions, also personal experience, and a lot of reflection. I do not buy into this totally mechanistic view of evolution. I think what is really evolving is consciousness itself. So consciousness evolves through species of consciousness. In other words, you and I, Charan Shridhar Surdhar says, I'm glad you persist. Thank you, Charan, for your support. Okay, so let's go back. In my opinion, the evolution of species is the evolution of species of consciousness. We are a species of consciousness. A paramecium is a species of consciousness. A reptile is a species of consciousness. And so consciousness, which is infinite, unbounded, eternal, timeless, boundless, dimensionless, formless, it experiences itself as form and phenomena as species of consciousness. So right now, you are a particular consciousness that is having a human experience. And the human experience is the human body-mind, which goes along with the human universe. The human body-mind and the human universe are expressions of that consciousness which is human. A reptile is a different type of consciousness that goes along with the reptile body-mind and the universe that the reptile body-mind experiences, and so on. We are species of consciousness. And what we call the ecosystem is actually a perfectly balanced ecosystem in its primal state, where the predator-prey relationship actually secures, in one way, the balance of the ecosystem. Until one species, that is humans, we took over. We became a permanently victorious species. And a permanently victorious species, of course, risks its own extinction. That's another story which I'll talk about later. But if we understand this model that I'm explaining, which is not a mainstream model, which is, as I said, criticized and vilified by most evolutionary biologists, never mind that part of it. But if you accept this model, then actually the evolutionary process is designed, as my friend Don Hoffman says, and he's a neuroscientist, a cognitive neuroscientist. He says that evolution prevents all species from knowing the truth. That's very interesting. Evolution prevents most species from knowing the truth because each species occupies a particular niche of sensory experience. Your sensory experience is not the same as that of a bat, or as that of a reptile, or that of a dolphin, or that of a crocodile, or that of an insect. Our sensory experience, that of human beings, has a very narrow range of that which is available if we had different types of receptors, but we don't. We don't experience the world through infrared, or which snakes do, or ultraviolet, which honeybees do, on and on. We don't experience the world through ultrasound, which bats do, or infrasonic, as many species of whales do. So we have a particular range of sensory experience. In German, this is called the Umwelt. The Umwelt is a narrow band of sensory experience. Now, each species has a narrow band of sensory experience which allows them to occupy their own niche, but also engage in the predator-prey relationship that keeps the system recycling, and also evolving. So the system recycles, evolves. There is recursion, there is evolution, there is self-regulation, there is self-organization, there is complementarity of body-mind, and so life recycles, life evolves, like a spiral staircase. And at the moment, we're on top of that food chain, unless we blow it and cause our own extinction, in which case another species will emerge. I personally am convinced that if things go right and we adapt and we don't destroy ourselves, that we will evolve into the meta-human, which will be the next stage of our evolution. Okay, so if you understood the scheme so far, then the niche of sensory experience, of perception, secures both the recycling of the ecosystem and the evolution of the ecosystem through creative interactivity. And that creative interactivity is consciousness interacting with its own self. Consciousness being the fundamental ground of all existence that is evolving as species of consciousness. So actually, in one of the Vedic texts, Yoga Vasishta or somewhere there, there's a statement that Brahman recycles itself by consuming itself, because after all there is only consciousness, and the predator-prey relationship is consciousness consuming itself in order to recycle, balance the ecosystem, and evolve. And so don't think of this in personal terms. Think of it in terms of cosmic consciousness, and then you'll see the system is perfectly balanced. And evolution has a purpose. Evolution is targeted towards expanding its experiences to maximum diversity. And once those experiences are targeted to maximum diversity, then of course evolution becomes a never-ending horizon. But I haven't answered actually Shramant Reddy's question, and he says this basically says that life is insecure. And I will answer that question in 15 seconds after this break. Thank you, my friends, for that 15-minute break, which I had to take because these one break in every podcast allows me to bring this programming to you through the courtesy of Facebook, and that's how we can expand our audience. Okay, so now we're back to Shravant Reddy's question. Is life therefore inherently insecure just because of this predator-prey relationship? And the answer is no. Life is not inherently insecure. This relationship and this ecosystem actually ensures the survival of species. It also ensures that the delicate balance of the ecosystem. It also ensures evolution and a purpose-directed evolution to higher levels of creativity and abstraction, and ultimately enlightenment that's the only word I can use, the deeper understanding of our true identity. So life is not inherently insecure life is perfectly secure and will recycle itself, even if we as a human species go extinct, life will continue to evolve, just like the dinosaurs went extinct and we evolved out of that. So don't take it personally. Don't take evolution personally, because in the deeper reality, that which we call a person is also an activity of consciousness. A person is a process in consciousness, an evolving process in consciousness. So what is insecure? What is insecure is experience. Your body is an experience. Moreover, your body is an intermittent experience, which is a perceptual experience. It's an activity of sensations, images, feelings, thoughts, and sense perceptions. And it's never stable. The body is being born and dying in every now. If you identify with your body, then you are insecure. If you identify with your mind, then you are insecure, because you cannot hold on to the experience that humans call body-mind. It's a human construct. In the deeper reality, there's only consciousness and experiencing itself as sensations, images, feelings, thoughts, sense perceptions, an intermittent stream of creativity and evolution. So once you shift your identity from that of being a person to the awareness in which the person is an experience, then there is no insecurity anymore, right? Because that which we call awareness or consciousness is not in time. Only that which we call the body-mind and the experience of the universe is in time. So if you shift your internal reference point to the awareness in which the body is a process, then you're all set. This is what it really means, that you cannot identify with your body or your mind or your personality or your emotions. You have to go to a much deeper level to see that all that is an intermittent stream as a process in consciousness. Your body is not the container of awareness. Your body is not the container of awareness. Your body is an experience in awareness. I'll repeat that 3 times. Your body is not the container of awareness, it's an experience in awareness. And the experience is intermittent and therefore in time. Awareness is present in every experience and therefore not in time. Nothing could be simpler than this. And once you shift there, then you realize that even birth and death are human constructs and not aspects of fundamental reality. And that, in fact, the predator-prey relationship is the perfect scheme for evolution, recycling of life, and ultimately the evolution of what will become the meta-human. You and I will become the meta-human if we don't blow it up. And if we do blow it up, then it will not make any difference to life itself. The human experiment might fail, but life will never fail. So, Shravant, I hope I've answered your question, and I'll email it to you directly, and I'll also, put this link on Twitter. But that is the short answer to why life is not insecure, and only the limited ego self is insecure because it identifies with experiences in every now, and experiences are arising and subsiding eternally in an eternally timeless now as well. So much for today. I shall connect with you tomorrow. Salongo says Ananda. Yeah, but this is not the kind of Ananda or bliss that one associates with ecstasy or some drug. This is a profound peace that passes all understanding. Aaron, woo-woo to you as well. Take care. See you tomorrow.